Thanks for staying with us. The Federal Road Safety Corps has launched an investigation into the cause of a tragic accident that claimed 37 lives and killed 50 cows on the Bida-Agaie-Lapai Road in Niger State. The Corps Marshal of the FRSC, Sheikh Mohammed, said this in Mina when he paid a condolence visit to the government of Niger State. The Deputy Governor of the state, Yakubu Garuba, commended the support of the Corps and also urged them to enforce strict compliance of the road safety rules and regulations by motorists and other road users.
Niger State, being a transit state, is very critical to road safety, and therefore we are here. And we have already commenced the accident investigation. When we are done, we'll get the report and recommendation, and we'll make it available to the appropriate authority and also the Niger State government.
The people that are saddled with issue of road safety are the first people to pay a condolence visit to Niger State, since the incident of this tragic accident happens closer to Agaie, Bida Road. So I'm overwhelmed, and I think that has shown the seriousness from the commandant and his team.
The Vice President, Kashim Shettima, has restated the firm resolve of President Bola Tinubu's administration to revolutionize Nigeria's digital economy, saying it is on course and fully backed by the necessary support, initiatives and partnerships. To this effect, he said the federal government will continue to open its doors to all willing partners and stakeholders who continue to believe and invest in the Nigerian project. The Vice President gave the assurance when the management of Odua Investment Company Limited, led by its chairman, Bimbo Ashiru, paid him a courtesy visit at the presidential villa in Abuja. The chairman of Odua Investment Company Limited, Bimbo Ashiru, expressed optimism that businesses will continue to thrive under the Tinubu administration.
One of the priorities of this present government, Bola Tinubu, is for business to thrive in Nigeria. And they are making things easy. You see him, he's in China, going around talking to Nigerians as well that you need to come back home, talking to businessmen in China. And anytime Mr. President visits outside this country, you will see him talking to the businessmen in those countries to come and invest in Nigeria. Because Nigeria has been created, we have created that environment, and rest assured that in the next few years, you will see the change, you will see the focus, but it is normal pain.
The outcome of the meeting essentially is to ensure there is collaboration between the private sector and the public sector. There is quite a lot that can be done to move key sectors of the economy. We are passionate about agric, and we are passionate about information technology, because that is the fourth industrial revolution. And the VP has assured us, including the president, that they are actually focused on making sure that Nigeria take its rightful place in the Committee of Nations in those two fields.
The Minister of Art, Culture and Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, has announced plans to close legal gaps that allow foreign platforms profit from Nigerian content while leaving local creators undercompensated. Coupled with the upcoming intellectual property IP policy, the ministry is working on several policies that will boost Nigeria's creative economy and support talent across Nigeria. During a courtesy call on the General Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of TVC Communications, the minister talked about the need to build state-of-the-art infrastructure that can host concerts and entertainment events in cities across the country to boost revenue and growth in the industry.
There are 49 subsectors in the creative industry alone. This is not even part of the cultural industry. And each one of these 49 subsectors, you talk about music, you talk about film, you're talking about fashion, art, you're talking about cosmetics, architecture. We have created initiatives for each and every single one of them that will allow that subsector to thrive within its own, now that we've put up a framework. And there are 14 key initiatives that fall into those 8-point agendas, which we've started work on a number of them. We've been able to activate a number of them. And I think from now, the industry will really get a boost and get a platform where they talk about turning it into the new oil. I think it's more than the new oil, because every single Nigerian has the ability to create content. So now they will have an enabling environment provided by government.
The federal government has restated its commitments to the growth of the creative industry in Nigeria. This comes as the Minister of Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy, Hannatu Musawa, met with investors in Lagos State. TVC News senior reporter Theophilus Ilama was there and now reports. And then after this report, we'll bring you update in business.
Harnessing the potential of the creative economy formed part of discussions at this forum. Key players in Nigeria's creative industry are all present as the Minister of Arts, Culture and the Creative Economy dialogue with them on ways to improve the sector.
And we see how tourism is a major component of a nation's economy.
The minister highlights plans for the sector which she tagged Destination 2030. Part of the plan is to ensure empowerment for the creative industry, as well as putting Nigeria on the global stage.
My responsibility to drive the key economic levers of the agenda. So the major things like the creation of the cultural and creative infrastructure development company, the establishment of the Creative Economy Development Fund, establishment of the Nigeria Everywhere SPV.
And it really would add value to Nigeria, especially at a time where Nigerian youth really need to feel something that will give them a sense of what their future holds. And a lot of them are ready and willing to leverage on what we have to give them. So there's a number of projects, like I said, the hubs.
Practitioners in the industry also spoke on the need to grow the sector to ensure it creates jobs for young people.
What we believe is that if you're investing in the Nigerian, you cannot lose. And this sector is about the Nigerians. This is about us, it's about our IP, our capacity and our capability, and that's what we're focused on at the National Council of Arts.
Yes. We'll give filmmakers an opportunity to pitch their projects to investors that are interested, because we need to up the game. As the host earlier said, organically the industry has done, it's been thriving on its own. So this is what the government has to do.
With discussions get towards developing innovative ideas for the creative industry and government's plans, these key players are optimistic that the sector will see a remarkable transformation. Theophilus Ilama, TVC News, Lagos.
And in business news, the Nigerian Economic Summit Group is actively seeking to strengthen its partnership with the media in preparation for its 30th Nigerian Economic Summit. Led by the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Tayo Adeloju, the NESG team visited the management of TVC Communications. The purpose of this meeting is to synergize and create mutually beneficial opportunities for both parties. We have more in this report.
The Nigerian Economic Summit Group is a non-profit, non-partisan private sector organization dedicated to promoting and championing the reform of the Nigerian economy into a modern, globally competitive, sustainable, inclusive and open economy. The annual Nigerian Economic Summit is an annual event that brings together high-level public and private sector leaders in Abuja to discuss and strategize on Nigeria's economic management. Ahead of this year's edition, scheduled for October 14th to 16th, the leadership of the NESG is here at TVC Communications headquarters in Lagos to further strengthen ties and seek ways on beneficial partnership between both parties.
The summit themes from Summit 1 to Summit 30 now are drawn by a faculty of economists from the macroeconomic indicators and the social and the development indicators. And we use that to say, what's the data saying to us? What the data says to us, because it becomes the theme. Each summit generates a green book. The green book is a consensus of the recommendations agreed between the public and the private sector, and it is conveyed to FEC.
Even in the build-up to the summits, we have key people in the system who are talking about those things, and it's the media that helps us to keep these issues on the front burner, for discourse, engagement, different fora, and even after the summit itself, in the weeks that will follow, it's also the support of the media that helps us keep those things that were discussed fresh and get people to engage, and in a way puts all of us, whether public sector or private sector, under some pressure to keep the focus and keep going.
After extensive discussions, Group Chief Executive Officer of TVC Communications, Mrs. Victoria Ajayi, emphasized that partnering with a credible organization like the NESG is crucial for the development and growth of Nigeria's business environment and overall economy, especially at this critical time in the nation's history.
We know you understand the importance of having media as a critical stakeholder for the NESG, not just to promulgate, all of the great work that is being done and the reforms that you're trying to put out and put in place, but really to the last point you made, to sensitize and drive those good values, because implementation is where everything falls apart. We can have brilliant policies, we can have all of the 14 thematic schemes and subsections and everything, and then it comes to implementation and everything, just falls apart. And so that's where I think Nigerians really need to sit up, step up, embrace whatever is being done.
Both organizations have agreed to collaborate, share resources, and enhance business relations, not only in preparation for the summit, but also beyond, aiming to establish a long-term relationship that will be beneficial to all stakeholders.